Hi everyone, this is Jondi and an impromptu video on some additional points that you might like to use or know about. I commonly call these the ponder points. These were originally finger points or fingernail points that were associated with EFT in the earlier days, and before that also with the Callahan TFT. I'd like to point out to you that they're very useful, number one, and number two, where exactly they are, and number three, where or how you might creatively use them. So first of all, it starts with the fingernail bed is actually what we're talking about for the acupuncture point location, and you can use an electric acupuncture point finder if you wish, but I often find that that kind of acuity is not needed at all in EFT because the percussive nature stimulates the entire region. So I'm all in favor of knowing where they are and being accurate, but I'm not overly concerned with it because I do know it still works. So that being said, look at the thumb side of your hand. So the thumb side that goes towards your body, the acupuncture point is going to be along the side edge and then bottom edge of the fingernail bed. So approximately here. However, if you were to tap on the side there, which is my finger point, or bed, I guess pad is a better word. My finger pad is going to go across the bed and it's coming from the thumb side of the body. So I know I'm bound to get that L-shaped area and stimulate the whole thing. So you would move from the thumb point over to the index finger, same thing. And I often like to support that with another finger so it feels very sturdy. And then on to the next middle finger, and on to the next ring finger, and on to the next, the pinky finger. Okay? And while we're at it, let me remind you, we are bilateral creatures, and so you can do the right, the left, or both. We are also able to see that these points that we've detailed out for you right now are given to you this way to make it really easy, because the actual acupuncture point for that ring finger, for unknown reasons to me, it is actually on the opposite side. But it got so confusing with the finger points to skip this one or go to the other side that Gary Craig pretty early on dropped this in favor of the idea that the gamut point, which is right there between these last two fingers, would kind of cover that. So he would do these, skip this one, go to the gamut point, but it got rather confusing, which is why I'm doing this video for you. So if you want to use the finger points, I suggest you try it out and see how this feels for you. It's a great way to conversationally keep the energy processing without having the facial features obscured while you're talking to someone or measuring something. So I often do this. I may show them these points so they can do it themselves, and often they do it under the table or in their lap, or while they're in their car at the stoplight. There's an endless variety of places to use that, including, you might have recognized that as you temple your fingers and do this, you're still stimulating those same points to come all the way down the hands into the triple warmers and other channels. Anyway, those are the finger points. I'd like to also remind you of these old school points that we call the sore spot or the tender spots. So I'm going to move my camera down just a bit. These are, if you kind of put your thumbs, I guess, underneath your armpits and then let your fingers fall. It's very easy to let your fingers do the walking until you find, oh, that is a little tender. That would be the tender spot or the sore spot. These are lymph gland points wherein we can actually help our body release whatever our body is already trying to release through the lymph glands. And so as I do this, I want you to see I'm not actually tapping, I am massaging with my finger pads instead of my finger points so it doesn't hurt. Now, if that does still feel touchish, you can A, use it another time, or B, use several pads to vary that pressure on that place. You can do one or both simultaneously. Doesn't matter clockwise, counterclockwise. It's a remarkably forgiving procedure, isn't it? So that being said, I believe I've also referenced to all of you that other traditions and protocols often use other points. It may be the third eye, it might be the thymus, it might be different chakra points up and down your torso. You do already know about the 9-gamut point, whether or not you do the entire 9-gamut procedure or not. This is actually just called the gamut point because at that point we're not using all 9 steps. So just the gamut point is what we would call this. So you've got a variety of points there, and those are having more to do with EFT perhaps than some of the other about 361 acupuncture points all over the body. So I'm inviting you to check these out and to use them for yourself and see what you think and then integrate what works for you. Thanks so much for being with me, and I'll talk to you soon.